Hey everybody, haven't done a Kelpie video. I mean, not a Kelpie, sorry. I have not done a Serenity video yet. So after a few days of testing and more testing and more testing and more testing, I just kind of want to give you like my breakdown of her. We'll do some PvP with her, featuring her as a main component on most of the teams. First off, how do you guys like Winterfest? I think it's not bad. Wish the payouts were a little bit more consistent, but as it stands, it's a decent event. The shop, the rune switch for the gold chain thing, that's gonna get fixed. But other than that, I think it's a pretty decent event, decent shop. Obviously got the Serenity tokens. I don't ever suggest in getting stuff like that because that's not quite craftable, but at the same time, that's not anything special either. Ooh, some skins that I don't have. Oh my. Oh well then I shall get. Oh my. Oh folks, I'm in skin. There's some skins that I just did not have. The raid tickets. I wish there was a bit more raid tickets for there. Loot keys. If you're getting gold keys and you're spending them, you're going to be able to get a bunch of loot keys anyway. It's like $500 per 500 loot keys per gold key. All right, so let's talk about my lady Serenity. As soon as I find her, she's back here somewhere, probably at the very bottom. Okay. So Serenity is a fast assassin rogue. Goes first. Enslaved by wizards, she restores the natural order of things by culling magic with a vengeance. So her specialty really is just think anti-magical, just for all intensive purposes. She's a martial artist. She has increased crit and dodge chance. She's fast. All allies' melee attacks have a chance to purge a buff on basic attacks and can't be retaliated against. So now your melee characters, you don't have to worry about like attempting to melee Arya, for example, or like a Jin Lee or a Yan Lao, those slow heroes that want to retaliate and paralyze and retaliate in disease or freeze or what have you. You don't have to worry about that. And the higher her skill goes, the higher the chance of your allies' basic attacks being purging buffs. So for all intents and purposes, think like what Deadeye does for ranged heroes. Those range basic attacks are purging buffs for those physical attacks. And the other thing is, think Drac now. So Drac, I know you guys haven't seen Barbarians for a while, but Drac, with his pillage ability, how it starts pulling buffs off people. Well, now, just basic attacks from melee heroes, the higher her skill goes, the more that's just like that for you. Allies take significant reduced damage from non-physical and chaos attacks. So, this helps mitigate the dragon a little bit. And it helps mitigate a lot of spellcasters. It just takes significant. The percentage of that I need to get a clear number on, but that percentage will be affected by skill, for sure. Other assassin allies have a chance to apply null magic on a basic attack. What's null magic? All enemies start with stack of null magic. So this is what this does. And I gain a stack of it once per turn. So what Void Aura / null magic is it's like Foresight, but in reverse. So Foresight blocks the next debuff applied to your hero, whereas null magic blocks the next buff on their heroes. So the more stacks, the more basic attacks you put on a hero, the harder it is for them to get evasion or defensive buffs or stacks of plant growth or ice block or something like that. And you'll see some of that here in just a bit. Adept Strikes. So this is the one ability of hers that I'm really skeptical on currently. I don't want a Rayla 2.0 situation where you can just use one hero for every offensive and every defensive raid. I very much enjoy the meta from that. You have to change up your teams. There's not really a set team that can 100% crush everybody, and I really like that. But Adept Strike, so allies go again after using a single target melee physical attack once per round. So pretty much, she'll give haste to any melee character that makes a melee single target attack. The thing is with that, is there's several of those that are really crazy. So Miko, a chaotic bounce, it bounces 9 times, right? But the attack itself is considered a single target attack. Therefore, a Miko on defense could throw the chaotic bounce. If he's got Bramble on the team, he's going to follow up with crits, and then he's going to copy someone's hero. So, as you can tell, things can get pretty crazy there pretty fast. Lastly, but certainly not least, Blessings of the Seeker. That's mine currently, nothing special. I don't have the best runes on her right there. Elite damage pen versus Legendary Heroes. Aversion, I don't want her touched. Evasion, I definitely don't want her touched. Foresight and Foresight. And the Foresights are simply there so I can use her versus like Panda teams. Double Daggers. 2 or more pierce and melee physical attacks on the target enemy for 850 base damage with a 100% chance to purge a buff. So, if you have 2 buffs and I basic attack you, I'm going to take both of them. It's a 100% base chance to purge the buff. So now, not only do you have Void Aura, but now let's say I'm attacking an opponent that has like Ice Block and a Guardian rune and a Survivor rune. I could possibly block one of those buffs, possibly Ice Block immediately, and then I could just auto attack that Selwyn, and then the Selwyn has no Ice Block, no Guardian, no Survivor rune. It's a great ability. Void Assault, melee physical attack on each enemy for 1889 base damage with a chance to wound, and add no magic to each enemy. Once again, that's blocking the next buff. So if she's a slot 1 for you, for example, which I don't recommend, by the way, and I'll tell you why in just a bit. But if she's a slot 1, you could potentially block the next buff that's going to happen. I've lost a match earlier, and I'll explain why in just a bit. But anyway, I'll explain that in a bit. This ability is considered single target. So after Void Assault, she goes again. Second ability. Melee physical attack on target enemy for 2405 base damage. Transfers 1 debuff and adds 1 no magic to the enemy. So now let's say I'm fighting a Plague Master Pontifex, and Our Lady is diseased. I can now transfer that disease back to an enemy, and it'll apply no magic to them. So now let's say this is round 2. I take that disease off myself, apply it to Pontifex. Well, now whenever he does a Gravedigger, he's not going to get the bone armor from it because the no magic won't let him. It's a great ability. Dispelling Strike. Armor and shield piercing melee physical attack on target enemy for 2748 base damage. Purges all buffs and silences the target, ignoring immunities. Starts powered. So here's the thing with this. This is a great ability. Armor, shield piercing, physical attack, purges all buffs, starts powered, and ignoring immunities. So this goes so far as to even going past Foresight runes. This goes, you can silence a Lily in Oak form. You can silence a Selwyn in Ice Block form, a Kelpie in Ice Block form. You could silence a Furnace in slot 1 that wants to use Combustion. It's a fantastic ability. Have you ever seen Jin silenced? No? Well, you're going to, because Jin can now be silenced, even if he's shrouded. Even with all that stuff, it is a fantastic ability and a great way to shake things up. So, needless to say, because she's going to get haste from having Adept Strikes, so she'll use Void Strike and she can use Dispelling Strike, or she can use Dispelling Strike and then use Void Strike right away every round as long as she's alive. Oops. So now, let's go back and let's do some PvP. Let's see some fun teams that we're using with her. Basic Beast team here. I'm not going to put too much thought into it, but I do want to show you the Assassin team of choice in my opinion. I have Foresights on my Sifu, everyone knows that. And we're just going to go just like this. So what I'm going to do here is, from Shadowblade, I'm going to have Evasion on all my heroes, all Assassins. The Assassin Troop passive, I'm not sure if I showed. Assassin gain 15% attack and defense for each Assassin ally. So this team right now, 4 Assassins, have 60% additional attack, 60% additional defense. So let's go ahead and wound everyone here so Solaris can't heal anyone. And then we'll just a depth strike here, get that taunt off him. We want Leo dead first anyway. Well, we'll kill him right now. But look at that damage we're doing. Me gustaría. Shouldn't have killed me. So now I'm going to go into Warrior's Chi. We're going to kill Leo here because we want the resurrection to happen. We want all that stuff to happen. It's amazing that that dude's alive. This should lead to a bunch of misses and the retaliation. Bang, boom. Insane amount of damage. Extremely, extremely solid team. And you can use that against a lot of different things. The Sybil Miko teams, as long as Miko's first, you can crush those Miko teams. So let's go ahead and do it to this person. Now, once again, I have 2 foresights on my Serenity. That's important because if you fight these panda teams without foresights, you're just in a lot of trouble. See all those dodges there? It's really hard to kill people whenever they dodge everything. All right, so now I'm going to Dispelling Strike this. So now there's no vines. Now I don't have to worry about the vines. Their Jin Lee is going to kill themselves attacking my team. The other thing is, however, with Serenity, I notice you're like, wait a minute, what's about the taunt? There's a lot of visual glitches with the null magic. So some people are not in oak form and they look like they are. Some people don't appear to have taunt and it even says they have taunt. But once again, this guy can attack anyone, and this isn't a demon team where I can just do what I want. The only downside of silencing Lily is if she cast vines right there, I would have killed her with Arya. That's the only downside. And we see that Adept Strike's kicking in. And that's it. So there's a decent team. The Ray Darius. If the Arya teams are in, I'll show you how to combat them in just a second. So it crashed a lot. So we definitely don't want to bust out. We could do this. Actually, we can do this. You know why we can do this? I'm not gonna tempt the fates. So here's what we're going to do instead. So now let's say we have her. Now let's say we throw Kelpie in there so she stays in ice block form so she can work. Now we're going to use our man Valken. Now we're going to use our man Alrakis. And everyone's like, dude, what's this guy got going on here? So this is a fantastic team. Because even if you're fighting a bunch of debuffs, I don't have foresights on my Valken. You see he's silenced here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to silence this because I can't have my stuff being frozen. Then I'm going to go in here and wood. Look at all this void magic. Now I'm going to purge this. He's going to auto-attack her. A bunch of follow-ups happen. But that's not the point of the attack. So now, remember, a Depth Strike. So my Valken does have 3 Festive Runes on him. So this is a single target attack. Uh-oh. Well, let's see what happens here. Look, you see how he's hasted now? That's not good. For them, anyway. So now I'm just going to go right into infantry. And once again, here, Alrakis here now has buffed attack, buff crit chances, and I'm just going to I'm not even going to dragon them. I can just click people and they're going to die. This team is extremely solid. Lots of flexibility here. Absolutely amazing team. So here in this case, I'll just go ahead and do it right here. Plus, we get to see him a Selwyn possibly not be in ice block form. So once again, here we go. We're going to have a Selwyn, most likely with top. There we go. So here comes the Furious Charge. Now you notice, once again, these visual glitches, so you got to keep up with this. This Arya obviously had a taunt rune on. However, because of no magic from Serenity, the taunt is not active, and she's not going to get that defensive buff. We just need to really take care of these visual bugs that we continue to have for some reason. Now we're going to do is Dispelling Strike on our man Selwyn. Boom. He's silenced. Guess what's not coming now? That Chilling Cloud isn't coming. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cleanse this off balance. We're going to cleanse this disease. And now, bada boom, bada bang. We're right back to where we were started at. Now we're at crushing people mode. And once again, I'm not even going to use any abilities. I'm just going to use the buffed attack, the buff crit chance from Valken, and I'm just going to steamroll this dude. Really solid team. Make sure Serenity slot 1 with some foresights. Kelpie slot 2. She is the foresight rune for your team, and you go from there. Some other fun stuff you can do. Serenity, Archon, and the demons. This team is freaking insane. The only downside to this team is if they got all evasions and depending on the setup of their defense. So here comes this. I'll just Void Strike Valken. I don't want anyone frozen or follow-ups and blah, 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 blah. But check this out. So this melee physical attack on target and 3 times random energy. So this is going to be treated like chaotic bounce. So guess what he's going to get after he attacks this person? That's right. Haste. So now we've already dropped somebody. We've damaged people. We've inhibited them. They can't crit. They can't proc an epic. And now we're just in this massive cleanup. Massive cleanup phase. Super simple. And in case that didn't kill him, because that was a single target attack from Malice, Malice could have done it again. If Malice wasn't silenced there, now we're looking at Malevolent Strike and like Envious Rampage round 1. So now let's go with the same thing, only I'm going to put Archon in slot 1 to do some damage fast. Same sort of thing. And once again, keep in mind, if my Malice isn't silenced by like a panda, for example, my Malice isn't silenced in this situation. So we're going to go right into killing people with the Berserker. Man, look at that damage. Yeah, I mean, just look at that. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So those are 3 teams that you can use. Highly successful. Very good teams. Once again, my reservation about Serenity is going to be she's too good. Her herself is already really good, but that ability to make great melee heroes get haste really is going to make some really nasty PvP teams really fast. There's a few else that we got, but those are some basic teams that almost everyone can use that are really helpful. If you're early on, but you have a Serenity, using Serenity with like Hansuke, or using Serenity with like Lord Zom with those single target attacks, they're going to get nuts fast. Hansuke is just absolutely nuts fast. Oh, one more team I wanted to show you because I can. So same sort of thing here. We got all this going on. And so we're going to bring there. We're going to bring Kelpie. We're going to bring... Where is he? There. And there. Nope. There. Then there. Sorry. So I don't know if you guys were around a couple months ago. I created what I called the Brothers offense. And it was Drac and Valken because they both just generate a ton of follow-ups. And Drac has been my boy for a long time. I've just been extremely deprived for a long time. Thank you for giving me rage. The more rage I have, the better I got. So in this case, they had enough buffs that Noel did not take away. Can I get it? No. Okay, so I'm going to take away the storm from him. So now we're going to cleanse this. We got no haunted now. There we go. Now check this out. You guys are going to dig this. Oh man, this is going to be so good. Now look at all these follow-ups generated. My Drac has got every single insane warrior rune you can think of, all elites. He has a guardian rune for the extra defense, but he also has a shield piercing rune. So watch this. I'm going to peel away any growth, and then a bunch of follow-ups are going to happen. And once Valken attacks, my Drac's going to follow him because the follow the leader passive. Look at this guy go. Look at this guy go. Oh, and by the way, he gets haste. Anyway, so that's another really solid team. Really like this team right here. Because Drac attacks single targets. He pills even more buffs. So it's a very good anti-magic team, anti-buff team, and ends people really fast, especially if you have that shield piercing on our man Drac. Well, guys, I hope you liked the video. Enjoy Serenity. Enjoy Winterfest. Drink some eggnog with Southern Comfort in it. And whatever you guys do, don't kiss under the mistletoe. It's a cheap trick, and she's not that into you anyway. Happy holidays, y'all.